earlier today, I did the 60-second West Ham news roundup, and I said things are slow. Things don't feel like they're happening. Well, it shows how much I know. They're happening now. Something quite, I guess, unprecedented, a bit weird is happening. Certainly, it feels something that West Ham are usually on the receiving end. It is happening, and because it looks like we're about to sign Kyle Walker-Peters from under the noses of another club. And it's all happening really, really quickly. I think this is actually happening. I really do. This started off within the last hour. This has gone from rumour to something that I really expect to happen. And so who knows where we're going to be with this story come the end of this evening. So I'll get this video out as soon as I can. Before I do that, can I please just point you in the direction of our Patreon page? The link's in the description below, patreon.com/HammersChat. It's basically our third Hammers Chat channel, and it's the best way that you lovely people can support Hammers Chat and allow us to basically upload on this channel and on the main channel every single day, and even days like today where we upload 2 videos. The best way you can do that is, aside from watching those annoying adverts and aside from going and checking out our lovely sponsors like ETC Sports, is by basically joining our Patreon. Do you know what? We've got a 7-day free trial. So if you're not sure, if you've thought about it, go and check out the 7-day free trial. Have a go. The smallest, shortest, the lowest tier we've got is actually only, it's got 3 separate membership levels, 3 tiers. The lowest membership level we've got is only £3.60 a month. So maybe you want to go and check that out. But we'd really appreciate if you at least go and have a look, and maybe you can enjoy some of the content that we've got on there. And it allows you to actually go back and historically go and look at some of that old stuff. Anyway, let's talk about Kyle Walker-Peters now. I guess we better rewind back to what was ex-West Ham United employees update, which was, I think it happened about 2:30 today, something like that. Then he did his usual update, and as part of it, he announced that there'd been a breakdown of communication, and actually a breakdown in a complete and utter collapse of the contract for Kyle Walker-Peters to join Besiktas. Now, just in case you've been hiding under a rock for the past, goodness knows however how long, Walker-Peters is available. He's left Southampton now. He's available on a free transfer. We've been linked with this guy numerous times in the past. In fact, if you go back to last season, it was either Walker-Peters, Diouf and Wan-Bissaka, or Mazraoui, who went and joined Manchester United. They were our 3 choices for right back. I think we got the right one. I think everybody will agree there. We were, at one point or another, looking at Walker-Peters possibly as part of a swap deal with Flynn Downs. That didn't happen. Southampton didn't want to do it, and then they came up with a ridiculous price of £25 million. We said no way. Rightly so. He only had a year left on his deal, so it was pretty much agreed. You know what? We'll get him in a year's time. We'll get this guy in a year's time. Everyone was in agreement of that. There'd been rumours, alleged talks between the club and Walker-Peters' representatives. Apparently Lopetegui at the time was in on it, which is, we will get him. We'll get him in a year's time. We'll take him for nothing. And wages were agreed. Fast forward a little bit of time. Graham Potter comes in and says, no, I don't want this guy. I do not want this guy at all. And I like that. In fact, we did a video about it, I don't know, last week, maybe at the start of this week. Very, very recently did a video about that. The reason I liked it was, I think one of the worst things about West Ham is the scattergun approach to transfers, the fact that, well, it was a bit of a pick and mix, wasn't it, last transfer window? Some were Tim Steitens. I think we had, actually, Diouf and Wan-Bissaka was Will Salthouse. I think we had David Sullivan chose Crescencio Somerville, and Lopetegui got to choose a couple of players as well. Absolutely ridiculous. So, with Potter coming in, we've got this new project, which is Potter and his right-hand man, Carl McCauley. And one of the reasons I was really pleased about it was I'd heard that West Ham had said to Potter, do you want Kyle Walker-Peters? It's already been agreed, so on and so forth. And Potter said, no, I don't want this player. I want to go and get a young, up-and-coming left-back who, basically, we signed Malick Diouf, right? Brilliant. I really like that. Now, it's worth remembering that Kyle Walker-Peters is probably more known as a right-back. Spent a lot of last season as a left-back, left-winger, left-wing-back. He's very, very versatile. Decent player. Look, capped for England twice, but I understood it. He's 28 years of age. I understood I liked that Potter wanted to go for the younger specialist in that position rather than putting Walker-Peters over there or playing Walker-Peters on the right and playing Aaron Wan-Bissaka over there. I liked that. I thought that was good. But it was also what it symbolised. I liked the fact that we had a manager who was putting his foot down, maybe saying to the club, no, I'm not doing this. We're just going to go and get my one. So I like that, and I thought it was a good thing, right? And that's really where we are with it. I think that's the history, the lineage of the story up until now, really, today. Kyle Walker-Peters was due to join Besiktas, but here's a statement. I'm going to read you a statement now from Besiktas. I'm not saying it right. Besiktas? Whatever. It says, it's publicly known that the arrival of professional football player Carl... Actually, he's not a professional football player, is he? To be fair, he's out of work. Unemployed football player. Professional football player Kyle Walker-Peters, with whom we had previously announced an agreement in principle and invited him to Istanbul for a medical checkup, has been postponed. Kyle Walker-Peters has once again... that's really interesting, isn't it? Really interesting wording, once again requested an extension. So it's not Kyle Walker-Peters has requested an extension. He's requested an extension in the notice he sent us today. Thereupon, our club gave up on the transfer of the player in question. Our club continues its transfer activities in line with the policy it has determined. We respectfully submit this for public information. You've got to remember, this has come off the Besiktas website. So, you have to press translate, right? So it translates it for you. So, it's going to be a little bit, it's going to lack the sort of flow, and it's not going to be exactly word for word what they said in the translation, but you get the gist. Basically, they felt emboldened enough by the fact that they were going to sign Walker-Peters to put that announcement up there. And in fact, if you look back on the Besiktas website, I think I said it right that time, a few days ago, you'll see them pretty much announcing that Walker-Peters is going to join. So this is really embarrassing for the club. Probably they think it's quite embarrassing for Kyle Walker-Peters because he's had a change of mind. As I say, we've had this happen to us at West Ham before, so it's not very nice when it happens. So yeah, but reading between the lines, because ex-West Ham United employee did his update and he said this is the case, this is what's happened, and Walker-Peters' move to Turkey is off, but West Ham are now back in the hunt for him. Now, you might think, hold on a second, that's not great, because everything you said, I don't mind this guy as a squad player at all. In fact, I quite like him. I think he's a good player. I think West Ham need versatile footballers. In fact, I said it the other day. When I said I was pleased we'd gone for Diouf rather than Walker-Peters, I said I like Walker-Peters as a player. I think he's a good player, nothing against him. I just thought the profile of him wasn't right. But if what we're going to do is get this guy to cover, then I think this is a really, really good... Well, it's not even a buy. It's a free transfer. Of course, they're never free, are they? But it's a lot cheaper than going and getting somebody else. We did a video a few days ago about the African Cup of Nations. Of course, Wan-Bissaka is going to play for the Democratic Republic of Congo. Malick Diouf is going to be playing for Senegal. I think both teams kick off their African Cup of Nations on the 23rd of December. We're going to be missing these players. Depending on how well the respective countries do. We're going to be missing these players for up to 6 weeks. OK, we've got Ollie Scholes to cover that left wing-back spot. Right wing-back, we don't have one. This sorts that out immediately. I did a whole video about the African Cup of Nations concern there. Well, this eradicates that. Did I want Kyle Walker-Peters as our first choice when we could have had an upcoming young stallion? No, I didn't. As a squad player, I'm more than happy with this. More than happy with this, actually. It would appear, and reading between lines, look, go and read X's update yourself. It's over on his Patreon site. Reading between the lines, I think what's happened is Graham Potter's said no. He's then got the player he wanted. And then quite possibly we've not been able to get another player over the line. Maybe it was that Arnel Martinez. Maybe it's, the Girona one. Maybe it was him. Maybe we're trying to get somebody else. Maybe we just didn't have the money. Maybe just money is that tight. Unless my mathematics are horrendous. I think we probably got half the money left over from Mohamed Kudus. Maybe that... Well, I'd imagine that's going to be allocated to a midfielder, right, or something like that. Maybe there just wasn't the money there to allocate for a right back. So maybe this is the option. It would appear to me that from what X has said, that Potter's now ratified this, and Potter's said, yeah, okay, let's do it. And in which case I don't mind. I only mind if he's been forced on Potter. If that's not happened, not a problem at all. Then this makes absolute sense. As I say, 20 years of age, he's played for England twice. Obviously, former Tottenham player as well, come through Tottenham's academy as well. Versatile, can play in what, 3-4 positions. That'll do. And it gets it moving. It gets the transfer market moving. It's another player coming in. And I guess there'll be people that would argue, well, hold on a second, have we really upgraded? Because yesterday we had, talk about yesterday. Last season we had Wan-Bissaka and we had Soufal. Well, Soufal wasn't really a wing-back, was he? And to be fair, Soufal was 31. We've now got a 28-year-old who's more versatile. And let's not forget, Soufal even got used at left wing-back at one point last season. You'd hope that wouldn't happen this time, but I don't know. I'd be interested to know what you think about that. So with the four of Scarles, Diouf, Wan-Bissaka and Walker Peters, is that stronger than Emerson, Scarles, Wan-Bissaka and Soufal? I think quite possibly. I think there's something can be made of it. Was certainly reducing the age. Reduced the age of Emerson by 10 years. And reduced the age of, Soufal by 3 years, but that's okay. That's still reducing the age of the squad. Yeah, I don't mind this one at all. I don't mind this one at all. As long as we're still going to go and buy players. I think this is important. If what this has done, it's meant we're going to go and buy a footballer that's first team ready, then I'm absolutely fine with that. We missed out on Douglas Luiz, it looks like. I'm okay, and I'll tell you why. I never really believed we were going to get him anyway. But there's one thing I liked about him. Again, it was what it symbolised, and it was what it represented. If we had have signed Douglas Luiz, then he'd have dropped straight into the first team. It's hard to say Paqueta will stay around, but if Paqueta was around and he was available, Paqueta starts in the first team. Bowen starts in the first team, right? Aaron Wan-Bissaka starts in the first team. Luiz would have been a central midfielder, just would have started in the first team. It would have been up to Potter then to decide who plays alongside him. But that's the level, that's the quality. As long as we still bring in someone of that quality who improves the first team, then that's fine. Well, what we've done with Walker Peters here is absolutely fine. But I do believe it will happen. I do. I think, yeah, just some... Yeah, there's too much going on here. Not the denial, basically, I guess just the frustration from Besiktas, who are clearly upset and clearly frustrated because the players let them down. But we're West Ham, we've got to look after ourselves. We've got to be ruthless. And if there's an opportunity to go and get somebody, then we've got to go and get him. We've done far too little in this transfer window so far. And just be covering up the full-back, wing-back positions. That's then sorted. Forget about it. We can move on to the midfield, move on to the strikers. Let me know what you think in the comments below.